Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome to another episode of News Dose, where I give you all the latest news in the game industry. And it's official, Death Stranding will be coming to the PC summer of 2020, published by 505 Games, interestingly enough. But we'll get into that here in just a moment. There was also some more Overwatch leaks, as well as some new information on Xbox Scarlet and PlayStation 5. So stay tuned for that as well, but first I'm going to talk about Death Stranding coming to the PC and give my opinion on that. I've actually posted 3 separate videos about Death Stranding coming to the PC, so I've been all over this for a while now, and even though I gave plenty of evidence that I was very confident in, all 3 of those videos got a higher than usual dislike ratio, and now that it's been confirmed that it will be coming to the PC as well, we're now seeing some of those same type of people get really upset that it's coming to the PC. So much so to the point that they're canceling their game and saying they'll no longer play it. It's the console warring mentality, and I'll continue to say this day after day, but focus on good games, not the platform. I've been playing games since I was 2 years old, and I can tell you right now, don't box yourself in, because there is plenty of good games around the entire industry, and not just particularly on one platform. You should want to play games because it's good, not because other people can't play it. Just my 2 cents on the subject. Anyways though, Death Stranding was officially announced as a PC title for this summer, so it looks like it will be about a 6-month PlayStation 4 timed exclusive, maybe a tad longer, maybe sometimes around June, which would be about 8 months. I'll say this right now though, I'm very excited to see how the Decima engine that Death Stranding is using will look on PC. If you don't know what the Decima engine is, it's the engine that Guerrilla Games used to develop Horizon Zero Dawn, which is arguably the best looking game on consoles right now, so I'm very excited to see how Death Stranding looks on the PC. Personally, I think it's going to be glorious, but yeah, I do find it a bit interesting that 505 Games is the one who's publishing Death Stranding on PC. Here recently, Sony themselves said they would be putting more of their games on PC, so I figured they would be the ones to publish it, but they aren't, which is kind of surprising here. Not really sure as to the reason why, especially considering they helped with the budget for Death Stranding, but nonetheless a very cool move either way. Honestly, I wasn't expecting an announcement before the PlayStation 4 release though, so kudos to Sony for allowing this announcement ahead of time. That way people can pick what platform they want to purchase it on rather than having to double dip. Moving on, we got even more leaks on Overwatch, and by this point it really seems like the entirety of BlizzCon will be leaked, but as we talked about it last week, a user by the name of Metro was leaking a lot of information on Overwatch 2 via Twitter. And some of it sounds a little out there, so I think some people just kind of took it as a rumor. But over the weekend, there was a big article posted on ESPN by Slasher, who has ties with the Esports League, which seems to confirm a lot of what Metro has been posting. So yes, there will be an Overwatch 2 that will be announced at BlizzCon that has a story component with PvE, Left 4 Dead style. It has RPG elements where you can upgrade each character's abilities, and it does sound really cool. Of course, the bread and butter of Overwatch is the competitive multiplayer though, and that is why they're adding a new competitive mode as well by the name of Push, which probably makes the payload active for both teams, meaning that each team would be fighting to push the payload to the other side. Also, Overwatch will be going free to play, and there will be a new character, which is reportedly going to be Echo, the character revealed last year in the Ash McCree short. This is all sounding very promising, but the only thing is, I think a lot of people are a little concerned about what happens to Overwatch 1, and that is where there is some mixed reports, as Metro doesn't really seem to be sure if they're moving Overwatch over to the second game or not. If they do, I guess this would be more of a rebranding than anything, along with a PvE expansion, but I guess we'll have to wait and see how this all plays out. I just don't see why they would put all that work into the competitive rank system and then just move on to the second and completely leave behind the first one. Now granted, they can both live together, but I think that would kind of eat into each other as well. Personally, I think they'll kind of mesh the two together, but who knows. In other news, and this one is actually a rumor right now, but if this one is true, it just seems like the Xbox Scarlet and PlayStation 5 will be incredibly identical this time around in terms of raw power, as they will both be using Navi graphics card Big. Now, of course, this is just a rumor as of this moment, but this is something I noted last week in that I am expecting both the PlayStation 5 and Scarlet to only have minor differences at most, so any kind of graphical gap will likely be negligible. As of this moment, we know both has a solid-state hard drive, they have similar processors, and now based off this rumor, they have similar graphics cards as well. Of course, both Xbox and PlayStation is probably going to be using a lot of buzzwords over the next year, and two that you'll probably hear a lot is the fastest console in the world that the PlayStation is already using, and this is kind of linked to the solid-state hard drive and how fast it's going to load up games. And then you're going to hear about 4K 120 frames per second that Xbox is talking about right now. And for the record, on the 4K 120, the reason I think this is suddenly making some waves is because TVs are starting to get HDMI 2.1 ports, which allows for 4K 120. So theoretically, you would need to upgrade your TV to reach something like that. Granted, I'm still not too sure developers would shoot for that, but if you're on the market for a new TV, that's something to keep in mind. Either way, both the PlayStation 5 and Scarlet is sounding great, which gets me even more excited for next generation. I do expect both to be at $500. Now the last thing I want to talk about is Luigi's Mansion 3 reviews, because they started to come out today and it's looking like another stellar title for the Nintendo Switch this holiday with an 86 overall average score on Metacritic. Plus, it's the perfect time to release it with Halloween, and this game is just looking really good so far. I've never been a big fan of Luigi's Mansion myself, but even I think I might check this one out for myself because it really does look that good. And I have to say this, my hat's off to Nintendo because they have been releasing a ton of games for the Nintendo Switch in the last few months, such as Dragon Quest XI, Astral Chain, Zelda Link's Awakening, Ni no Kuni, and now this. I've said this before, but the Switch may go down as the best Nintendo console ever made, and that's a pretty big deal. What do you all think though? Are you excited for Luigi's Mansion 3? Let me know in the comments below. Anyways though, that's it for this video, but if you liked the video, don't forget to hit that subscribe and bell notification button. Peace out.